Hey everyone, welcome back to my garden. I'm Jen. I am a home gardener in Zone 6B in Western New York, and we have a gorgeous spring day here today. Actually, we did have a really nice day over the weekend, and I felt like everything all of a sudden started to turn a corner. It's amazing what one full day of spring sunshine can do for your garden. So I'm finally seeing some progress. Things are starting to wake up and look good, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the garden season. I'm out here in my garden today. I'm looking around as I normally do, assessing the situation and figuring out what do I want to accomplish today. I think I'm going to start by checking on my tulips. I think I shared with you before that I do have some pots that are flopping. They're looking a little bit better. I would say there's really just one pot that's flopping, a lot, but I'm going with it. I'm going to work with it and we're going to make it happen because they're still going to bloom. They're just going to be a little floppy, so I'm still going to enjoy those spring tulip blooms. I do have several containers that have not opened up yet, so I'm waiting for that spring show of my tulips. But I do have one pot that's blooming, and I can show you that. It's beautiful. It's in my front yard. So I'm going to check on my tulips, probably water them. I do want to get my pansies out into the containers on my front porch. They've been sitting on my back patio. They also need some water. I'm going to keep it real. They're kind of wilting a bit, so we will water those and watch them spring back to life. So I want to get into the routine of feeding my birds, and I also want to possibly plant out my bachelor buttons. Those are definitely ready to go. They were part of my winter sown jugs. I did the winter sowing, and they are looking beautiful. I have, I think, 3 jugs of bachelor buttons. Do I know where I'm going to place those? No, I don't. I thought about maybe putting them in containers. I think that's a nice option. So yeah, I'm just excited that they're coming up and they've germinated well, and we will find the perfect place for them in my garden. So why don't you join me today? So here are what my tulips are looking like. This first pot here is the one that's really drooping, and these were very tall tulips. I recognize my issue, and maybe somebody out there has experienced the same thing, but I think my mistake was I didn't water them enough, and that definitely contributed to the flopping. Another issue could have been the fact that I had left them in the garage kind of unattended for quite some time before I planted them out, and there could have been some bulbs that weren't, at their best when I planted them, so that's another possibility. But I'm going to learn from it, definitely learn from it, and try to be a little bit more on my tulip A game for the fall season. These here, I think I purchased mid to late bloomers, maybe mid bloomers. I can't even remember. I'm gonna have to look at my order, but they're starting to bud up there, you can see. And I think they're gonna be beautiful. I was a little worried for a while, but I think these are gonna turn out great. I haven't placed them exactly where I'd like them just yet. I'm just sort of rehabbing them on the back patio here. I'm going to give them a good water. I'm thinking I could probably put some pansies in between all the floppiness in this container as well, and that might look good. Oops, that is not on the shower setting. Let's switch that over. It's supposed to be sunny all day today. I think the high is supposed to be 70. I just watered these tulips on my front porch, and these are blooming and looking gorgeous. I'll be sure to put the name up on the screen. I can't exactly remember the name of this tulip, but I've got some beautiful tulip action here on my front porch. I'm really happy about that. And there's a couple more starting to come up. Beautiful. Here's an update on my living wreath. It's doing pretty well. It's starting to spread, the violas and the pansies. And I do take it off of the hook here and lie it flat to water. So I'm going to do that now. I'll just give it a good water and then let it sit for a bit, let it settle, and then hang it back up. Okay, let's see if we can get these pots looking spring-like. I'm just going to rip out the roots of whatever I had in here. Whoop. I've got my pop-up bag right behind me. So I just have some Biotone starter fertilizer that I put into these pots just to give them a little boost, because this is potting soil from last season. And I had so many pansies and violas left over from when I put together the living wreath that I just decided to pop them into as many pots as I could. And I think pansies and violas are such a great option for spring. They fill up a pot beautifully, and there's all different colors, and they just add a nice touch to any spring garden. So I've gotten a couple of pots done here. I'm working on my back patio. You can see I'm on a storage bin that I typically keep pillows and blankets in. I would absolutely love to get a potting table or a potting bench to work off of, and I have thought of that many times, and I just haven't really focused on finding one, but that's something that's one of my little garden goals. I'd like to have something like that, and I thought it would be a nice spot. A nice spot for it would be behind my shed, and you can see as we move along in the video, I'll show you where that spot is. But I'm just continuing to pot up the pansies and the violas. And now I'm moving over to my tulip container, the one that's flopping the most. And I thought it would be a great idea just to tuck a couple of violas, I think I have violas there, into the areas that are kind of splitting apart, and those violas could just kind of, grow and fill in that empty space. Aren't those beautiful? I love that color. I wasn't thrilled when, I realized that this big pot of tulips was just flopping and not looking great, but it really gave me the opportunity to learn and to reflect on what I did and how I can, fix it for next time around. And that's what I love about being in the garden, is just learning and growing every day. And now I'm moving over to my shed and looking at my window boxes. I decided I was going to pop some pansies and violas in here as well. I do have vinca vine planted in here, and I also have a daylily. I'm not quite sure if they made it or not. That's yet to be determined, but I just added, as you can see, those pansies and violas that'll start to fill in and provide some spring color. And now we are just behind my shed, and I'm going to be watering some of these containers. Here you can see I have a heuchera. It's the peachberry ice from Proven Winners, the Primo Peachberry Ice, and I've trimmed that back, and I'm going to be watering that. This is a heucherella, also from Proven Winners, and I trimmed that back as well. And those are both perennial and should come back for me. You can see my creeping Jenny starting to grow and come in nicely in these pots. And my mohawk grass, that's also from Proven Winners, that's a perennial. And I cut that down, and I'm going to just give those pots some water. And you can also see some creeping Jenny here from a leftover container from last year. And this is the area that I also thought would be perfect for a potting bench for myself. Now I'm moving to my front yard, and I recently picked up 3 beautiful perennials from a local garden center that I thought I would plant right by my mailbox. This plant is called the Ballerina Lilac Sea Thrift. It's hardy down to zone 5 according to the tag. It blooms from May to June, and they're lilac colored blooms. It attracts bees and forms a mounding habit, and the tag says it grows 14 inches wide by 14 inches tall. It's prized for its compact form and drought tolerance, and it's suitable for borders and rock gardens. This plant also requires full sun, so I have it here planted by my mailbox in a full sun location, and I thought it went really well with the sedum that I have already planted in this bed, as well as a blue mohawk grass. This is a blue cushion English lavender. It's a compact variety of English lavender. It's really beautiful. It has silvery green foliage and deep blue fragrant flowers. It has a dense mounded shape. I'm just pruning my English lavender. They do benefit from pruning after blooming. I hadn't pruned it this past fall though, because I thought I read somewhere or heard somewhere that if you leave the flowers until the springtime that it protects the plant. I'm not quite sure if that's true or not, but it's a beautiful plant. It thrives in full sun and well-drained soil. It attracts pollinators like bees and butterflies. And I do know that regular pruning after flowering does help maintain its shape and encourages reblooming. These are my 3 bachelor's button that I winter sowed, and let's take a look and see how we turned out with these. This is Black Magic. This is Blue Boy. We've also got the Bride. Great germination on those bachelor's button. Yeah, let's see it. It's been a while since I have done anything with my bird feeder. We need to get this into shape for our little birdies. Let's start by cleaning out our water dish. Okay, I am at the end of the day, and I'm just going to be opening up my containers of my bachelor's button. This is the Bride, and I showed you a little sneak peek of what it looked like, but now let's really open it up. I think I'm going to put, oops, see what it looks like here. Are you ready? This is Bachelor's Button and Bride. Look at that. That looks amazing. Okay, this next one is called Bachelor's Button Black Magic. Winter sowed on January 24th. Ooh. Wow. Those look amazing too. Wow. They're definitely ready to go out into the garden. Wow. And the last one is Blue Boy. Let's open this. Let's open this one up next. Are you ready? Look at how beautiful. Winter sowing, guys. It was so fun to try for the very first time, and it feels good to have success. Now, I don't have success with everything. For example, my bells of Ireland, nothing even remotely sprouting up. But I know those were a tough one. My lavender, everything else is pretty much germinated. Some of the lavender, they're not very big. My snapdragons are very tiny, but it's all about learning and growing in your garden. And that's exactly what I did right here with the winter sowing. I was able to learn about winter sowing. I will link a video in my description box if you don't know what winter sowing is, but it's basically sowing seeds inside of a little container that you poke holes in the bottom and you leave a hole at the top for ventilation, and in order for it to receive water from rain, or if you happen to have to water them. And it's like a mini greenhouse, and you know, you sow your seeds, and when the time is right for that particular seed, they germinate. And that's exactly what happened with my bachelor's button. Now, I winter sowed lots of cool annuals and perennials. I'm thinking about doing some spring sowing with some zinnia seeds. We'll see. We'll see if I get there. But right now, I think I'm just going to pot up a couple of my bachelor's button. I'm gonna put some in a container, and then I think I might put some along my south garden bed where the white fence is, where I have my trellis with the clematis. I'll show you. Okay, I'm gonna put some of these Black Magic in this pot here. I'm just gonna kind of pop the whole thing out, and then I'll separate them. Oh wow, cool. That might not have been the best way to do things, but let's flip them over this way, and we'll take them apart very gently. There we go. There's our bachelor's button. Black Magic. I'm gonna go put it somewhere where it's gonna get full sun, and then we'll water it in. thank you for joining me today in my garden. As you can see, I didn't get to planting up the other bachelor button, the bride, or the blue boy, but I will get to that. As you can see, also I put my tulips on this raised garden bed while my husband was cleaning off the patio. So got a lot accomplished today, and I look forward to seeing everyone in my next video. Have a great day.